Welcome back to Not Exactly Martha, the podcast where recipes are tested, family traditions are challenged, and sometimes the smoke alarm joins the party. I'm your host, Kelly, and today we're diving into a sticky, spicy, and slightly nutty debate, carrot cake. Specifically, which wins, the old family tried and true recipe or the five-star internet sensation? Grab your cream cheese frosting, folks. It's about to get competitive in here. Our first segment is a family recipe. So imagine this, recipe card stained with grease, folded at the corners, and barely legible. It looks like origami. My grandfather's carrot cake. I actually had to make a photocopy so that I didn't ruin the pretty mangled card that it's on. So it's got densely packed with raisins, walnuts, and a suspicious amount of shredded carrot. So we've got that in this bowl right here. It's tradition. It's what we always make on Easter or rainy Saturdays when we want to be nostalgic and remember the people that aren't with us anymore. So what we have here is we have our dry ingredients. We have flour, sugar, baking powder, baking soda, salt. And then in this bowl, we've got just eggs and vegetable oil. And here we have our mixture of carrots, walnuts, and raisins. If your raisins have been in the pantry for a little while and they're kind of dried out, you might want to soak them in some hot water first, or I like to soak them in some rum, but whatever floats your boat. And these are actually pretty fresh, so I didn't need to do that. But so we're going to combine the fruit with the wet ingredients, mix it together, and then combine that with the dry, and then it goes in the oven. So recipes will be posted on the website for both this, my grandfather's recipe, and the one that I found on the internet that's pretty contemporary. So be sure to look up on the website for those recipes. Okay, this is going into a 9 by 12 pan and into a 300-degree oven for 1 hour. And we'll show you what it looks like when it comes out. On the other side of the ring, we have the viral coffee cake, found on Pinterest, boasting words like moist, foolproof, and hundreds of swooning reviews. It promises a lighter crumb, more balanced spice, and apparently pineapple, which, depending on who you talk to, could be blasphemy or genius. Again, we have our dry ingredients, wet ingredients, and then our fruit, which in this case is carrot, pineapple, and chopped walnuts. So we're going to combine these together. So this is going to go into a 350-degree oven for 45 minutes. And we'll see it when it's done. Good morning. So the two contestants here have been baked, cooled, and frosted. They do have slightly different frostings. Again, recipes are on the website, but this is my grandfather's recipe, the traditional one, and it actually has slightly less sugar, I believe, in the frosting than the cream cheese frosting, both. So both have 1 stick of cream cheese. One has a 1/4 stick of butter, the other one has a full stick of butter, vanilla, and then the amount of confectioner sugar varies. So the newer one is slightly sweeter, which they're both a little sweet to my liking, but you taste them and you decide. And please let me know what you think. So I'm going to go over some pros and cons of these two. We have the traditional one here, and one of the pros, obviously, is sentimental value. So eating it feels like a hug from your grandfather. So they're loaded with nuts and carrots. So if you like that kind of thing, that's definitely a pro. On the con side, it's a little dense. So if you're looking for light and fluffy, this is not it. So this can be polarizing because people either love or hate raisins. So that's the other con. So on the internet favorite side, we have the lighter one. It's a little more contemporary. I'm finding it a little heavy on the spice mixture, but it is definitely a spin on the traditional flavor. So, and then on the con side, it feels like it might be a little sweet for some people, and it feels like you're, Dissing your ancestors, unfortunately. Okay, time for a listener story. This one's entitled The Carrot Cake That Caused a Family Feud. Janelle from Ohio says, at my cousin's wedding, they served carrot cake from a bakery. My grandma refused to eat it because it didn't taste like hers. She declared the marriage doomed. Of course, they're still happily married, but we no longer discuss cake at family gatherings. So I can relate to that because my family, every time we go out to eat and we see carrot cake on the menu, we feel obliged to order it and comment on how it's not as good as my grandfather's recipe. So I can relate, Janelle. Okay, wrapping up here. So which cake wins? Honestly, both. The family recipe feels like a hug from your grandparent. The family recipe feeds the soul. The internet recipe impresses the crowd. My advice, make whichever one makes you happiest. Or do what I did and make both. Just don't tell your grandmother that you found the recipe off Pinterest. Thanks for listening to Not Exactly Martha. If you've got a family recipe that's been defended or dethroned, I want to hear about it. So drop us a line at kelly@notexactlymartha.com or tag me at notexactlymartha. Next week, we're talking about the garden veggie that never seems to quit, zucchini. Until then, keep your frosting smooth and may your cakes be moist.